Welcome to the Wild Remedies podcast. I'm your host, Krista Francora, and I'm here to bring you captivating stories from some of the most fascinating people I've connected with on my own journey of physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired. Welcome, Jaye, to the Wild Remedies podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Part 2.
Take 2.
So Jaye and I actually recorded this podcast already about a week ago, and we had some audio issues. But then I was like, you know what? It was way too good. We have to re-record it. Luckily, we're friends. We live close together. So we're like, let's just do it in person.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this on video on YouTube, we're actually going to do a demo of a bit of a Hapè ceremony at the end if you stick around. So bonus for both you and for us.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I love Hapè.
Me too. Thank you for introducing it to me. So
You're welcome. Today
we're going to talk about plant medicine. We're going to talk about Kambo, explain what all of that is. Jaye and I did a Kambo ceremony. Well, she did one for me a few weeks ago now, which was really profound. So we're going to have a chat about that. But first, I just want to get things started off by talking about your entrepreneurial journey. And just get things started there because you are just such a badass when it comes to business, and you've started and created the coolest businesses, and you're doing so much for the community as well. So very mission oriented. And yeah, I just love the audience to learn a little bit more. So, when did you get started with your whole journey?
Yeah. So it all kind of started about, maybe 10 or 15 years ago when I was just working corporate. And I remember typing into the internet, I want a religion, but not a religion. And I just didn't know what I was searching for, but I just knew that this up at 6 a.m. and dropping my son off at daycare thing, it just wasn't working for me. And I was really missing a soul piece. So I quit my corporate job just on a whim and rented out my house and moved back in with my parents and started studying plant medicine. And from there, I started my first company, and that was Bare Nature. So I was making remedies and selling them at the farmer's market. Yeah, from there, we started a not-for-profit community co-op out in Lumby because we didn't have organic food. And then from there, birthed Farmbound. And Farmbound, we connect people with organic food, locally produced food through an online portal, and then they order and we deliver it right to their homes. So yeah, it was just kind of a journey that all started from searching for a connection with myself.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so interesting. I didn't know that you studied plant medicine and stuff in the past. And so did you formulate all of your own products and everything?
Yeah, all from scratch. And I really wanted to kind of get into the more medicine of the plants, but at that time people really weren't that interested, but they were interested in creams that made their skin feel really great, or teas or things. So I just kind of kept it there. And then from there, actually, it was what gave me the skills to be able to start Bottled None, which is a plastic-free shampoo and conditioner bar company that my sister and I own. And so it's all of these skills just kind of built upon each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so rad. So then the spirituality aspect. So I'm assuming that kind of started through this entrepreneurial journey, since you were looking for a religion that wasn't a religion. So tell me about that and your process and how you got started on the spiritual journey.
Yeah, it was I didn't grow up in a religious home. And I just felt like there was this sense of self that was missing. And so I started to get curious and study. And I practiced with this one group for about 6 years, meditation. And
what style of meditation was that, by the way? You mentioned this before.
I don't even really know what to call it, to tell you the truth. It's this one really amazing woman. She's a psychologist, and she's created this program, and it's really beautiful in so many ways. But as with any practice, it's someone's interpretation of God, and it kind of, as over time, there's some really great things about it, but there were some that didn't resonate. So I decided not to continue practicing, but I learned so many amazing things, so many amazing skills, so many different layers of myself I had no idea about. And that just came through inner reflection, transcendental meditation, different energetic healing techniques, and just kind of cracked me wide open to start to get curious about myself, about others, and about this journey.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah,
I love that. And so, well, I mean, I'm just going to jump right into Kambo.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got all this entrepreneurial stuff going on and starting on the spiritual journey. And it was just, I don't know, not really there's all the seeking and stuff that's happening. And then Kambo pops into your life.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, Kambo came into my life in the most unexpected way. I was in Egypt. And I have a gluten allergy, and we were in this Nubian village, and they were offered us this bread, and they like grew their own grains and ground their own flour. And this grandma was teaching us how to make bread in her wood fire oven. And I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I have a gluten allergy. And like,
I know, I've been there.
Yeah, been there. And so I ate the bread, and it was fucking delicious. And I had 3 pieces. So it was the first time I had bread years. You know the struggle, right? It's like soft, gooey bread.
Oh my God. I haven't had bread in probably close to 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we're doing this. So I ate all the bread. And anyway, so I had this massive reaction. My stomach was in knots for days. My digestive system was a wreck. All of my joints were inflamed. And this woman who was traveling with us, originally from Colombia, asked me if I wanted to sit with Kambo. And I had heard of it before and kind of thought it was a little bit crazy. Like I've sat with ayahuasca, I've like, done these other medicines, but I was like, why would you want to like puke and shit and like all of this stuff? And anyways, we went through it all, and she sat me with the medicine, and within 20 minutes, all of my digestive issues were gone. All of my inflammation in my joints was gone. And I felt like $1,000,000. And I was just like, whoa, I need to learn this medicine so I can bring it back. Bring it back to our community.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and people like who haven't heard of Kambo before are probably like, what the fuck is this? Like, what are you talking about? So if you Google it, it's going to like, you're going to find a whole bunch of different experiences and things. But I mean, well, I'll let you explain the process and what it is.
Sure. Yeah. So Kambo, Amazon medicine, it comes from the frog. It's a frog secretion, and it's used to detoxify the body. So it's also called the vaccine of the forest. It was discovered through ayahuasca and then Hapè. So Hapè is considered the grandfather medicine. And then through Hapè's ceremony, they discovered ayahuasca, because it's like, how would you take this vine and this leaf and put them together? And like, what? And so it was through ayahuasca ceremony. And then it was through Hapè ceremony, ayahuasca was uncovered, and then through ayahuasca ceremony that Kambo was discovered. And so the story is that the tribes were getting sick and they couldn't figure out why. So they went to ayahuasca ceremony, and then that's when ayahuasca guided them about how to do a Kambo ceremony. Mm-hmm. And so they not only give it to the tribe when they're sick, but they also give it to the hunters before they go out into the forest, because it like detoxifies their body so they don't smell. And you also really get hyper aware.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. And you get hyper aware of your surroundings. So like after Kambo, as you know, like, the food tastes really good. Like the water on your body feels really good. Like all of your senses are really heightened.
Well, yeah. Cause like you basically, it kind of feels like you're dying for a little bit, to be honest, but everything's great after.
Yeah. But during it, someone sent me a video of someone sharing their experience of Kambo, and at the end they're like, it's not a party. Like,
no, I mean, none of these things are like, I can't imagine anybody having, I mean, there are people that, I guess kind of get addicted to like the seeking and the experience of trying all of these different things and can overdo some stuff. But I mean, like when you're doing like plant medicines and shit, like it's intense.
So intense.
Yeah. Like it's not like, oh, this is recreational and I'm going to do this every day.
Right. Yeah. For something to do. You kind of get up the courage to do that. Like when you feel the call to go sit with ayahuasca or iboga, you're kind of almost like, oh God, okay, okay.
It's a little scary in the beginning.
It's scary for sure. So yeah, Kambo's no different, and it's intense, but it is shorter. The medicine's on you for a short amount of time. It's not like it's this 6-hour relentless thing like some of the other medicines can be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the one thing that kind of, I guess, allowed me to feel comfortable in doing it. Cause Kambo's something, I don't know. It's funny. I always jump into these medicines that like, I feel like I would never, ever do. Yeah. Like my very first like intense plant medicine that I've done was iboga, which is like, it's like ayahuasca times like 10. And I was like, I've seen documentaries and stuff on it. And I was like, well, that shit is nuts. Like I would literally never do it. And then one day I was like, so I'm doing this. And I just, and then I did it, and it was a wild ride. And actually, the gentleman who did my ceremony is going to be coming on the podcast. So we're going to be chatting about that.
Amazing.
Mark from Iboga Soul. Yeah. I'm really excited. Yeah.
I'm excited for that one too.
Yeah.
I've been curious about it.
Yes. And you'll have to meet him. He's such a character.
Cool.
He's great.
Yeah. Iboga scares the shit out of me. When you told me you did Iboga, I was like, whoa, like, that's intense.
It should scare the shit out of everybody. Like it's not something that you play with, for sure. It's very intense. And Kambo too, like, I mean, it is a frog venom that gets put into your system through little small burns that you put on your skin. And, you hear that and you're like, holy shit, that's intense. Yeah. But the burns really aren't that bad. No, like it's like a little,
just a little zip. It's just essentially breaking off the top layer of skin so that
Yeah.
the medicine can go directly into your bloodstream. So it's the burns are the least of your worries in that whole situation.
That's what I thought initially. I was just like, okay, so I'm going to get like branded a whole bunch of times on my body. Like, are you kidding? And I assumed like it would blister and then you'd pick the blister off, and I was like, oh, this is going to suck. Yeah. But it wasn't like that at all.
No, it's just super gentle, especially if you're getting them somewhere where the skin's nice and thin, like on your back or something. Sometimes on the feet, it can be a little bit harder.
I still have, I still have my marks on my feet. Yeah.
Like the skin can be a bit thicker on the feet, so sometimes you have to kind of give it a couple goes to get through, but the rest of the body's fine. So yeah.
Let's go through a ceremony.
Yes. So typically you sit for 3 sessions or 3 ceremonies for Kambo to be initiated in with the medicine, with the frog. And you want to do those all 3 in the same moon cycle. Since learning to serve Kambo, I think I'm at like 82 or 83 ceremonies now that I've either served or been present for. I know.
Girl, like that happens so fast.
So fast. Yeah. Because I just learned about the medicine a few months ago. Like I was just in Egypt in February?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
wild.
But we just went training, and then I've just been deepening my relationship with it. So seeing the transformation for the 3 ceremonies, it's super important. You know, you could just do 1 ceremony and it's not like it's going to be bad, but I think the 3 are really important. The first one tends to work on the physical body a little bit more. The second one, the emotional body, and then the third one, the spiritual body. So it's really beautiful to watch the layers kind of unfold for people. The ceremony itself is about 1.5 to 2 hours. What we start with is this medicine called
Sananga, because it like burns.
This is usually the least favorite part for people. Nothing I can say to anyone prepares them for how much this fucking sucks. Right? You can't. What words can you describe? Like hot peppers in your eyeballs? Times
battery acid.
Yeah.
I'd go with battery acid. Yeah. That's how I describe it.
So what happens is you lay down and we put 1 drop in each of your eyes, and then you open the eyes, and then the medicine goes into the eyes, and it intensely burns, and you often will have like a physical like reaction at first where you're like, what the fuck? What the medicine does is it clears your auric fields. It teaches you to breathe into your heart. And I sit with Sananga with you, of course. I'm in the medicine with you, which I think people like, that we can be in the medicine together. But after sitting with Sananga so many times, I really love it as a teacher. It really teaches you to find that place of stillness and calm and peace, no matter how much chaos is happening around you.
Yeah.
So, and then it can also help with eye conditions. It can help with people who have degenerative eye issues. One woman who sat with the medicine can't see. She had an eye damage from laser surgery and has no depth perception. And after sitting with Sananga for about 2 to 4 hours after ceremony for the first time, was able to see depth. Another woman, she can't drive at night without glasses, and was able to drive home at night without her glasses. So it can be a really beautiful medicine. They recommend if you want to do an eye repairing kind of treatment, you do 21 days off, 7 days on. Or sorry, 21 days on, 7 days off. Of the medicine. So my partner and my other friend, they're actually in the middle of that right now. They're sitting every morning together.
I can't believe they're doing this. Like this, like battery acid in the eyes, 100%. And like, what is in this stuff again?
Yeah, it's a certain plant from the Amazon. So it's essentially just like a decoction of this one plant that's like super good for the eyes. Yeah.
But it is really interesting. And I like that this is how the ceremony starts off. So it's almost like you have all these rites of passage that you have to go through, right?
Yeah. Totally.
And I wasn't expecting any of this when I did the ceremony. Like I thought we were just doing Kambo and that was it. I didn't know about the other 2 things that we were doing first. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. We got like a whole thing going on here.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. Like, so when the drops went into my eyes, it was like, whew, it was very spicy for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like we've had this conversation before, and the idea of doing things that are hard and painful on a regular basis kind of exercises this uncomfortability muscle.
Yes.
That is really important for resilience
100%
in our lives, right?
Yeah. There's so much teaching from Sananga of that, right? And the more you resist the pain, the more it burns. Yeah. If you tense up and you're like, it burns. But then when you relax into it and you can find that place of calm, you can find that. And I even found like I am such a wimp with cold. Like I don't like being cold. I avoid it at all costs. People going cold dips. I was like, what? Not a chance. Yeah. And I went for a cold dip. And I was like, okay, if I can do the Sananga, I can jump in the lake when it's freezing. Like, that's not the end of the world. I will be just fine. And then I felt amazing after doing it. So it kind of shows you.
That interesting. Yeah. And that could be totally transferred to, all kinds of circumstances and just emotional processes and things. I'm learning a lot right now about, I've had a lot of practice with like sitting with pain and, you know, having a lot of dark night of the soul situations and things. And this is a really good way to just like practice that in a very intense way. Like if you can just relax into the pain, like it does change. And one thing that I noticed, which I thought was really cool, was every time we did this Sananga, I would notice I could feel the back of my eyeballs. It was so strange. Like I felt a lot of the intensity because I mean, it goes in through the front of your eyes, but I'm really feeling it a lot in the back. And it was just such an interesting sensation. And when you do, just like your body's going to tense up, but like once you kind of relax into it, yes, like it sucks. But if you can just focus on that sensation, it transforms into something else. And it's such a amazing lesson for everyday life. We're always going to bump up against things. There are always going to be things that get put into our reality that are here to challenge us, and we can get overwhelmed with anxiety and all of these different things. But I'm starting to learn that we can transform these things a lot quicker by just surrendering to them.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's hard.
Exactly. Not easy.
It's not easy.
But and for me, that is the most beautiful lesson of Sananga, you know, and so we get this, it's just a beautiful plant medicine teacher. And then also sets the stage for you to show up in ceremony in a different way, because, you know, anything that you've brought into the room is gone, you know, because all there is you. And there's nothing else for you to be concerned about what's going on in your eyeballs right now. And so then once that's over, you've kind of moved through or moved past anything that you may have brought today. It's, you know, so the thing you're worried about, your job or your whatever, your mother you had a conversation with or whatever, that is not, it's, you know, lessen your awareness so you can really be present. And then we move to the next medicine, which is Hapè, and we talk about your intention. So getting to the intention of the Kambo ceremony, it's really important to get to an emotion. We all have very similar emotions that we want to release. You know, we want to release anger, resentment, fear, grief, guilt, and there's you know self-doubt. But yeah, there's this different movie playing around for all of us around the same, you know, core wounds. And so if we can, you know, work through the story of, oh, my boyfriend cheated on me, or my boss is a jerk, or my dad was an asshole, or whatever that was, and we can get to that fear or that anger or that core emotion that we're ready to let go of, that really deepens the intention of the ceremony. Another thing that's a really beautiful teacher that's presented itself is the notion of like, I release what no longer serves me. So when we say that, if we're coming at it from a place of, this is really gross, get it off, it's possible that we haven't learned our lesson from that thing yet, because that thing is showing up as our teacher. So if we're like, this is gross, get it off, we're not looking for the lesson in it. And we may be able to get it off for a moment, but it's going to come back wearing a different hat or carrying a different purse or showing up in a different way that looks like it's not the thing, but it is really the same thing energetically. So when we're ready to release something that no longer serves us, we need to figure out, how did it serve you? You know, a lot of things that are really awful in our life serve us. They keep us safe. They give us reasons to say no. You know, illness gives us a reason to say no. Codependent behavior keeps us safe because we don't have to take on responsibility of decision making. Like there's a lot of reasons why we keep these undesirable things in our life. So it's like, how did that serve me? So really getting honest with yourself. What did it teach me? Have I got my lesson from it? And have I moved to embodiment of that lesson? Like, okay, got it. Am I embodying that? Because once I've embodied it, actually I'm grateful for the thing. I'm grateful for the toxic behavior. I'm grateful for the illness. I'm grateful for the abusive partner. I'm grateful for the thing that on the outside looks like your life may be falling apart, but it was actually your greatest teacher. So until we get to that place, we're not really in this place to like release what no longer serving me, because it's still serving you. So that's really one thing that's really come up in these ceremonies, and I'm kind of seeing is really getting clear on the intention, and are you ready to step into that?
That's very interesting. Yeah. So intention setting for pretty much everything that we do, especially when it comes to some sort of transformational work, is incredibly powerful. And then pairing it with the plants, I think, is so cool. We didn't explain what Hapè or Rapè is. So as far as I know, it is, well, okay. So is it ash of tobacco, or is it just ground tobacco with ash of botanicals?
It can be both. It depends on who's preparing it. Sometimes they use tobacco ash, sometimes they use whole leaf tobacco. And then the blends are always different. It's typically prepared by the women of the tribe, but there's sometimes the men prepare the medicine. And then it is like a snuff. So you blow it up the nose. You can administer it yourself, or someone can blow into your nose. How you do it, which we'll do later and we'll show people, is you close your top of your throat, and then the person blowing in, you just receive. The experience, maybe you can describe the experience. It kind of can be like a blast, but
yeah. So I mean, it can be a little unexpected. So it is a fairly, not significant, but it's, it's a palm full of powder, if you will, that gets blown into your nose at a fairly fast degree of pace. But so it's kind of like a slap in the face. But again, it's like that. Any sort of plant medicine that you're doing, like there's an aspect of being uncomfortable, right? And that's the rite of passage. So it's a bit of like from the beginning. What I really love about it, so Jaye's got like a wonderful collection of all different types of hapés with different botanicals and things. And so there was 3 that I tried initially. And I definitely got a different flavor from each of them. The first 2 that we did, I found were extremely grounding for me. And so it's kind of like you get this initial, like, okay, this is a lot. You kind of tense up a little bit because, there can be some pain, but then it's just like your whole body melts and you're just like, oh, okay, that's the nice part about this. And for me, it was it was such a wonderful grounding experience before going into the next step, which is the Kambo. But there was one that we did in particular, which was rose. And rose for me is like a spirit, like it's a plant spirit that I feel really identified with. And so that experience was a little bit more uplifting. And I kind of got like more visuals of rose. Again, so it's a psychoactive plant medicine, but not psychedelic. I mean, unless, I don't know, if you did a lot of it, maybe.
Yeah, I think you can do hapé ceremony where you keep blowing and blowing, which I've never participated in, but apparently it can give a psychedelic
That sounds
effect.
like it would be so painful.
So yeah, definitely. But the more you use hapé, though, the more you're familiar. Like I can blow now and then just like, it's not super intense, but the first few times, definitely it's a really intense experience. And some people get visions. So, we sit with the medicine together and meditate, and what'll happen sometimes is a deepening of the intention. So if you have fear, underneath the fear, maybe anger, maybe guilt, maybe shame. And that often presents itself in the hapé.
Yeah, that's very cool. I haven't yet to have like because I feel like I'm still practicing just with myself. So I fell in love with this so much that I decided to incorporate it into my own practice. So I've been doing it a little bit at home. And so there's kind of like the part of me that's just trying to figure out how to do it myself,
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to seeing what types of messages and things come in as I get more comfortable with it and I'm able to relax a little bit more. Because I think in the beginning it's like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to do this. And when you have the self-applicator, it's like, it's a whole thing. And so you have to figure out how to like hold your breath and blow at the same time. And it's like,
you kind of go, then you put it in. And then blow. So you're right. It's a bit of a situation the first few times you do it. You're like, and then I could see that to be able to relax into it and get the messaging. But once you get comfortable with it, it's really can be a beautiful tool. Like I use it sometimes if I'm, you have a conversation with somebody and it kind of throws you off and you're not in love, right? You're thinking about all the nasty things you might say or do, or to show them, or whatever it is that goes, how your process goes. I can sit with the hapé and it really clears out that noise for me and brings me back to a place of love where it's like, okay, this is how I want to move forward. Because that spin, when you're in it, you don't want to be in it. You don't want to act that way, but it's really hard to snap out of it sometimes.
Oh, girl. Yeah. I know all about that. Yeah. And this really is an experience that just, and I mean, like, this is something that just immediately aligns your chakras. Right. And I've had a couple of experiences. So, we actually did a little bit, Pam was here, remember, and she was kind of sitting, she was like, oh my God, like I saw this integration of like your solar plexus. She's intuitive, so she could see the energy. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And I had another friend that I sat with, and she was like, whoa, like I don't normally see auras, but like I just saw your shift.
Cool.
Yeah, which is really, really interesting. And there's also an aspect of decalcifying the pineal gland too, I believe.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. So it just kind of awakens you, opens you up, aligns you. Yeah. And some people struggle sitting with it. Some people struggle with that stillness. I've had people where it blows a hapé and all they want to do is move around and get out of it. But then some people sink into it and just like want to sit there, sit in that beautiful medicine too. Right.
Yeah. We love hapé. It's wonderful. Okay. So now let's chat about Kambo. The big finale.
The big finale.
I want to take a quick second to let you guys know about the other side of Wild Remedies, our incredible wellness potions. We recently launched a collection of functional Magick lattes crafted with love and intention to help you look and feel your best. We currently have 3 delicious products to nourish you from the inside out. Strawberry Rose is our beauty potion, crafted with ceramicides and vitamin C to help hydrate and plump your skin from within. Spice Chocolate is our immunity blend, featuring wild Siberian chaga mushroom with a sophisticated spicy twist to support your immune system. And finally, Almond Lavender Dream, a literal chill pill in a cup, with potent relaxation herbs and delicate notes of amaretto and vanilla to help you unwind. At Wild Remedies, our goal is to bring you the best of nature for the betterment of humanity.
So after those 2 torturous acts,
Yeah.
they're so beautiful though. So Kambo. So you fast for 8 hours before ceremony so that your stomach's empty. And then we drink an uncomfortable amount of water,
Yes.
an entire jug until you're like, oh my goodness. Water's your friend in the ceremony for sure. And then we burn the dots on your body. And so we can kind of intuitively pick where the dots go. Or we've been experimenting with like Chinese medicine and putting them on certain meridians to help release certain things, which has been interesting to witness and to see the results and see the things that come up. And then we say the intention again, often as it's been deepened through the Hapè, and we activate the Kambo with saliva. So this is what the stick looks like. And you can see here, we'll see on camera.
Video people can see it. Audio
Yeah.
people, you're just going to have to check out the video.
Yeah.
So it's like a little stick board thing.
Stick situation.
Yeah.
And it's got the frog secretion on it and it's dried.
And it comes like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it just comes as like the little piece of wood and
Yeah.
it's got, okay.
Exactly. And then this is full, like this one's probably had like 30 ceremonies and this amount's left.
Wow.
So then we say the intention and activate it with saliva. And then we take a knife and kind of go like this and scrape it off with the saliva. And then that's how the dots are made. And then they're applied to the holes. So typically for me, how I was taught was to start with 3, 4, and then go 4 or 5 in your ceremony. Some people start with 2. I mean, sometimes you can watch videos online where people are doing like 10, 15 dots, which I've never sat with that much, nor have I served it.
That seems aggressive.
It seems a little aggressive for sure. And you know what? Sometimes it's not even the amount of dots. Like I had one person who had a bit of a health issue. So I was concerned about putting too much. So we just started off low and slow with 2 dots, and their ceremony was like just as strong as when they had 5 dots on.
Oh, interesting.
So sometimes I'm curious, like, you know, I've seen this with sitting with ayahuasca, where it's like not necessarily the amount that you're drinking, it's more what you need in the spirit plant medicine that kind of, you know, your intention, your, you know, it's, you know, I mean, although having said that, I did do 6 hero dots one time, which are like big dots, 6 of them. And it was a super intense ceremony. So
I bet.
It was a lot too. So, but I mean, I guess you never know. The thing that I'm learning in the ceremony is just when I think I know about the medicine, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I can just be like a humble servant of the medicine and allow it to show up however it needs to show up for people.
Yeah.
So yeah, the medicine goes on and we leave it on for 20 minutes. And, you know, when it goes on, you start feeling that burning sensation where the dots are. And then you can kind of feel it travel up your body and you get that warm, you really feel flushed. Your heart starts pounding, your face starts swelling a little bit.
I was like literally, well, actually we'll post a photo on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jaye took a photo of I think we call it frog face. And yeah, it's not cute, but it's like, it's part of the process.
It's part of the process. Yeah. You look kind of old, and so people are often facing down and their cheeks
it's
get
kind of like this a little bit. Yeah.
And some people it can last. I mean, some people it's lasted for 24 to 48 hours, but typically even if you do get it, it calms down within an hour or 2.
Yeah. I think, well, it lasted the most for me. I don't know. I think the second ceremony for me was kind of like the hardest.
The hardest? Yeah. That's super common.
Yeah. I had definitely, my face was swollen for, I don't know if it was that day or the 3rd day, but yeah, it was swollen for a few hours, but it wasn't like, oh my God, you look like, you know, something's terribly wrong. It was just,
Yeah. I did have one person whose face swole up like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that lasted for a day or 2, but, it's only happened once, but it is something that can happen. And some other things that can happen in the ceremony is you can have the tetany.
Yes,
which that happened
I
to you.
Experienced.
Yeah.
That
So
was
you
very
get the
intense.
Contraction of muscles. And
Sorry, I'm just laughing. So it's like, okay, so another thing. So you're drinking all of this water and stuff, right? And this is to purge.
Yeah.
And for some people that comes out through the mouth, and for some it comes out through the other side. And I'm a both kind of person. And so This is why it's really important to find a great practitioner, because that individual needs to follow you into the and like make sure that you're okay.
That you're safe.
Yeah. So Jay and I got close like real quickly.
Yeah.
And I remember on the third ceremony, I started getting the tetany, and this is something that normally happens to me when I do like an intense breathwork session. And this started happening. Gosh, it was like within 5 minutes. And so like there was no hyperventilating or anything. So I was like, ooh, this is interesting. So my hands cramped up, but also my feet. And that generally doesn't happen. So my feet were like arched. And then I was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, help me. And I'm like tiptoeing with like my cramped feet into the bathroom. And I'm just like, oh, the things that we do for healing.
We do. So funny. We can laugh now, but honestly, it's like when you're in ceremony, you're just like whatever, and that's always everybody's biggest concern. They're like, "Am I gonna have to poop in front of you?" And I'm like, "What if you smell it?" And it's like all I see now, honestly, when I see vomit, and I'm just like, "Yes!" Like you're letting, like it's like I cheer it on, and my nose is so full of hapè, I can't smell anything, and it's like honestly, it's totally not even a thing. But that is funny, or that's the biggest concern, or people are go, oh, am I going to shit my pants? And you don't, like, you're aware throughout the whole ceremony. Even if you have tetany, you can make it to the bathroom.
It's not psychedelic. That's another thing too that people probably wonder about. There's you're very aware of your faculties. You just feel pretty fucking rough for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah. Pretty rough. Yeah. So you kind of start, so that heat, potentially the tetany, and then you kind of just feel like you have the flu. So it's like really hot and you're just like, oh gosh. And then all of a sudden the purging starts, and then you want to drink more water, because the more you can replenish your body, the more it gives a vessel to exit. And we look at the puke after, and we kind of see all the awesome stuff that's in there. And it's really interesting just to witness what comes out. And I'm like, oh, it's just so fascinating. Like I've noticed with people who smoke either cigarettes or cannabis intensely, they have this really thick.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Thick color of yellow. That's only tends to be with people who smoke. And and then there's bubbles for grief. Like there's all of these different things that come out, candida, all of this stuff. So yeah, it's been really interesting just staying curious about it.
Yeah. The theme for my ceremony was a lot of lymph.
Yeah.
Which is something that I've been wanting to release. I do tend to get swollen due to some kidney stuff. So yeah, it was very, very apparent.
Yeah, definitely. So that's really cool to witness. The woman who was from Colombia originally but lives in Miami now, who taught me the medicine, she's also a scientist, and so she studies people's blood before and after ceremony, and just notices how much cleaner the blood is. And one person who went for blood work after, and she said the man was like, I don't know how she heard him. Like, I don't know if it was a friend who did it or what, but she was like, he was saying, oh my gosh, your blood is so beautiful. Your blood is so beautiful. And it was right after she did Kambo.
Oh, wild.
Yeah. Super wild.
Huh. And so what kind of like healings and things have you witnessed in people?
Yeah. I mean, reducing of inflammation, digestive issues. One person after their second ceremony who struggled with anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts for the first time woke up and didn't have that anxiety pit in their stomach. Addictions. People, even just like mild addictions, like changing relationship with food, the need to use like, alcohol recreationally, cocaine recreationally, like things like that. I mean, I think like big, intense addiction issues take a little bit more like something stronger, like iboga. But like if you're getting to like the tweaks, or you want to start detoxifying your body, like people use Kambo as like a reset, right? We're going to purge everything out and then feel empowered now to kind of start new, because it really does. It clears everything out of your system and you feel energized. You want to start taking care of your body better. And then it's just the small emotional tweaks that come from it. The wisdom that you got from sitting with the Sananga, the visions that you got from the Hapè, like the small things that start to come together in your life when you clear that stuff out can like add up to big results. But I mean, having said that, it's only been since February. So
yeah. Oh, you're going to get to witness so much more. Wild.
Yeah. The woman who taught me, she sat hundreds of people and has been serving Kambo for years. And she just was like, believes so strongly in the power of the medicine.
Yeah.
And she's seen a lot of really crazy shit that people curing things that they can't cure.
Yep. Oh, I believe it. Yeah. There's a lot of power in a lot of these healing modalities. And this is the thing, like I always preach about this. It's like taking your health and your life into your own hands and not putting it into someone else's. And for me, I mean, I'm generally referring to the Western medical system. There's just so much more out there. Yeah. And healing, even though like we have a physical issue, a lot of times that is stemming from something emotional or spiritual, ancestral. There is
100%.
so much. And a lot of that can't really be tapped into until we have some of these energy systems and stuff open through.
Stressed. Through heat, through breath, through cold water, through psychedelic, through purging. We stress the body to release these energies that are stored at a cellular level. And they're there for a reason. They're there to keep us safe. They're there because, you know, if we didn't learn from our lessons, like, you know, you keep touching the hot stove. Right. But it comes time to overcome that. And whether it was in this lifetime, the last, or your ancestors' lifetimes, that this stuff is stored in your cellular DNA, you're gifted the opportunity to release it. And it's not, and with Kambo, as with any medicine, nothing is a silver bullet. Like, you're not like, oh, microdosing is the thing, or iboga is the thing for, like, we're all so different. And and it's all going to take these different medicines to remove the different layers. And Kambo may be your teacher for a while, and maybe your medicine for a while, and then you move on to something else, and then you revisit it again in the future. Like, it's nothing, I don't think, is a silver bullet, because we all are so multifaceted. We have such complex things going on, right?
And there really is no silver bullet for anything. It's kind of like, I feel like people who, it doesn't feel it at the time, but like are gifted with a healing journey. Right. You know, and like, it doesn't feel like that at times. Like, I have been healing my whole goddamn life, and I tell, like, I'm a little bit exhausted, right? Like, I fix one thing and then something else crops up, and I'm like, this is really annoying. But for me, I understand that as part of my journey, because I'm meant to try all of these different modalities so I can have real results for myself, and then be able to pass that wisdom off to other people. That this is how I discovered ways. Like, I'm about to record a solo-sode about like how I used to be on 8 prescription medications. And I'm now on 0. It took me a lot of years. Like, I just got off the last one maybe 2 months ago.
Wow. That's so amazing.
Yeah. But it was like, oh my God, like it was such a long journey. I'm going to explain it all in that episode, but it was a lot, and it's not just one thing. And it's like these little, you know, crumbs that you need to follow here and there, and you know, incrementally get better. And a lot of times we want to reach for something pharmaceutical that may make you feel better right away, but it's not actually getting to the root cause, and it's going to manifest as something else. So you might feel okay. Well, and sometimes not. Like, a lot of people don't react well to pharmaceuticals. I actually did. I was lucky, but I have a lot of girlfriends who are like, oh, I started birth control, and then I wanted to like fucking blow my brains out. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't have that experience. I thought it definitely did, like, you know, make my acne better for a little while, but again, it didn't address the root cause, and it took me a long time to figure that out. But there's a lot more out there that can support us, and it's really great to see a lot more people reaching for those things.
Definitely. There's definitely lots of options, and pharmaceuticals are great. You know, I break my arm, I'm going to the hospital. I want some painkillers, you know, and sometimes like things like antidepressant stuff, they are necessary. Like, it's not that Western medicine is completely bad. I just think like the framework around it really doesn't promote getting to the root of the problem, which is so much deeper than just the symptom that's presenting itself.
Absolutely. So we talked about this earlier in the episode last time, and we got to revisit this whole thing. But like, Jaye has amazing story. So she went to Egypt recently, where she was introduced to Kambo, but she also had like the wildest experience, and like we have to tell the story.
We got to go into that one. It was so amazing. On Egypt, on the flight there, when I was going to Egypt, like 5 people brought me the Magdalene manuscript. I was like, you need to read this book. You need to read this book. So I finally read it on the plane ride there. And so what it's about is Mary Magdalene and her accessing Kundalini energy through, she's a priestess of Isis and sex magic, and that's how Jesus got his God power on earth to reincarnate and do all this thing. And I mean, it's a much deeper story than that, but essentially it's about being a priestess of Isis. That's kind of the part that like really resonated with me, in this like power of the orgasm. And so, you know, I'm going down the Nile, and I ended up going twice down the Nile. It was super weird. It was like this Atlantean activation path where you visit different sacred sites and say these certain sounds, and then you activate your different chakras. And so this teacher, Matthias De Stefano, he's on Gaia, and he talks a lot about different like dimensions and all of this crazy shit that at first I was like, what the fuck? But then I was like, okay, this is really rad. He's the one who remembers this path that these people would take, initiatic path down the Nile. So we're doing this initiatic path, and I get to the Temple of Isis, and it was like cool, but like I didn't, I got a couple little messages, but nothing really that profound. And we get to the Temple of Dundra, and I go down into this one hallway. It's like beneath the temple, and it's got all these crazy carvings in it. And immediately I'm just getting ringing in my ears. And so I sit there, and this is on the second trip down the Nile. I had been there once the first time. I was like, whoa, this is a really fucking cool spot. But then the second time I'm immediately going in there before everybody else does. So I'm sitting there alone, and the goddess of Hathor visited me. And I didn't really know anything about like Egypt history and stuff like at this time. So I don't really know what god or goddess belongs to what temple. I was just along for the ride. So the goddess Hathor visited me, and she was like touching me and like stroking my body and whispering to me all these things. And to the point that I actually opened my eyes and was like, who's here? And then she was putting her fingers in me.
As in finger banging.
As in finger banging.
Yeah, okay.
So I was finger banged by Hathor in a dark alleyway.
Finger banged by the ghost of Hathor in like, okay, were you in like a pyramid or like?
Yeah, it was at the Temple of Dundra, and it was underneath in this like creepy hallway to nowhere. Yeah, any other circumstance, super rapey. This time it was great. And she was whispering in my ear about this practice, this sex magic practice of Isis, and how I have been a priestess in the past, and I know this magic, and I just need to remember, and it's very clear instructions about coming back to Canada and starting this practice with my partner. And I was like, okay. And I came out of the hole, and I was like, I was a little ashamed. I was like, ugh, and I didn't want to tell anybody. I was like, so like this thing happened, and I didn't even tell Brett until like I got back to Canada. I was like, what's that story? It was like she was hearing me. But I finally got the courage to tell a couple people on the boat what happened, and they're just like, what? They're like, that's so rad. And I was like, so what I did,
you're with your people when,
right?
Yeah, when they don't think you're fucking crazy. And they're just like, that is the dopest story ever.
Yeah, they're like, yo, that's so amazing. So yeah, what I didn't realize about the Temple of Dundra, and that was actually where the priestess of Isis practiced. It wasn't at the Temple of Isis. And I mean, I didn't know all of that when that was happening, because I was like explaining it, and the people were like, oh my gosh, like, of course that's where it happened, because this is where these priestesses practiced.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting how that unfolded, because it was just like this like affirmation of the message, which was really cool. So yeah, I'm, still not completed my task yet, but that book, the Magdalene manuscript, just like fascinates me. And the Sophia code that you lent me too, like these activations from these goddesses, and then stepping into this divine feminine energy and the power of the orgasm, and how that creation energy can be used to create on this plane for us is just wild. And I'm still exploring it and still new to it, but that was my story.
Well, highly recommend, like, anybody who is interested in this story to check out the book. Yeah. So I have the book as well, and it's a really amazing story. So essentially, it's channeled, right? It's channeled information, and I really love the author or the authors. I mean, I know, so it's Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
Tom just seems like a really solid dude. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of information out there that's like channeled or whatever. Yeah. And I don't know, some of it I don't resonate with, but he seems exceptionally authentic to me. Yeah. And so, I don't know, like, it's just, it's a very cool book. The story is about Mary Magdalene back in the day. So it's actually a bit of a history lesson, right? Because these stories, well, what we understand as like truth or history now is really been just rewritten so many times. So absolutely, I believe that there's a lot more out there that we're not really aware of. And we've experienced many centuries now where power has been taken away from women. And, this is very much the case, I feel, where this woman, Mary Magdalene, was called a whore by the church. But in this story, she was actually the wife of Yeshua, or Christ, as we know, this person or this entity now. So it's a really powerful story, which is really cool. But the alchemy and the magic that is explained in it is very cool. And it's actually quite practical, right? Yeah. So again, it's one of those things, I've had this conversation before about like what magic really is, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the law of attraction and how that's a very commonplace thing. And, it's not even like weird to talk about anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really what magic is. It's just, it's intention, but you're adding more to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're doing a ritual of some sort, you're putting intention into these objects, and then you're manifesting around that.
Mm-hmm.
With this type of sexual magic, it's even more potent because you're using the alchemy of different feelings and sensations and thoughts and stuff within your body, and even with another individual, in order to either heal your body, to energize it, or to bring up about something that you want to manifest in your life. And it's really cool and really powerful stuff that I think like every woman should have that info. Yeah,
totally. Yeah. And start exploring it. And it's something that you can do on your own, or it's something you can do with a partner. And I've seen like some amazing manifestations in my life through the orgasm, and things that I didn't even think were possible. And if you think about it like that, the womb is a portal that other beings come through. Like that's a very powerful place. And that Kundalini rising, that activation, like that's what creates life.
Yep.
If there's nothing more magic or powerful on this earth than creating life, like holy shit. And I'm even getting goosebumps talking about it, And someone said something to me, and it really, because sometimes we can kind of get along. We start playing with these things, or we having like, toddler finger bangs you in a hallway, like all this stuff happens, and you're like, am I going crazy? Or like, what is happening here? But someone said something to me, and they said, magic is just science that hasn't been discovered yet.
100%.
So you show an iPhone to somebody 100 years ago, and they would be like, what the fuck is this sorcery? Yet to now, we just accept it as normal. So imagine all the things that we don't understand, all the things that we can't see, all the things that we don't understand how these are alchemizing, but somehow we're starting as infants to play around in these worlds. And we're like, oh, this is kind of working. This is not. Like, I'm sure we look hilarious to beings who understand it fully, but we're just like children trying to crawl or walk for the first time. So it kind of takes the pressure off. If you're having this experience, it's like, you can have that experience. You have permission to, just because you don't understand it.
Yeah. I love that. Well, I think this kind of concludes our episode. First, I want people to know where they can connect with you. Yeah. We're going to do a little bit of Hapè afterwards. Yeah. But because our listeners won't be able to watch what we're doing, we'll do it in that succession. So, tell people where they can connect with all your things.
Okay. So the shampoo bar company is Bottle Nun. So bottlenun.com or .ca if you're in the US or Canada. And then if you want to follow along my journey with Kambo, I just have a personal Instagram for that. So it's Jaye, so JAYE.IN.trust. And trust is my word for 2022. Surrendering and trusting the process. And that might change for next year, so maybe slightly different. And then also the website for Kambo is wegrow.one. That's how you can find me.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sitting with me for round 2. I think it was way better.
Yeah. I think this is good.
All right. Thanks, my sister. We're going to do a little bit of Hapè now and get grounded and connect.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for sharing your time and energy with us today. We'd love to hear your feedback on how our podcast has impacted your life, and are also open to suggestions for new and interesting topics. Please leave your comments with a quick review to help us grow this magical community of wellness warriors and light workers. Every month, we select one lucky reviewer to win our big magic box, containing all 3 of our beautiful magic lattes. To connect with us further, check us out on Instagram at wild_remedies. Thank you again, and see you at the next episode.